How to Read Body Language by Philip Redhead.
Hi, welcome to our show. My name's Ricky Garcia.
My name's Hunter. Well, you know what? You can call me Cowboy Cockroach.
This is High Noon Tea.
And today we will be discussing How to Read Body Language by none other than Philip Redhead.
This week's sweet is a pumpkin scone recipe I found online. The link will be in the description below. The first step is mixing your dry ingredients, which is flour, brown sugar, baking powder, baking soda, salt, ground cinnamon, ground ginger, ground cloves, and ground nutmeg. Then you whisk it all together. Next, cut 2 sticks of butter into small cubes and scatter it over the dry mixture. Using 2 knives, you need to cut the butter into the flour until you just have small pea-sized bits of butter in the mixture. In a separate bowl, mix half a cup of pumpkin puree, 1 tablespoon of molasses, 3 tablespoons of half and half, 1 egg, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Once you do this, you're going to want to stir that mixture into the flour mixture until you get a dough. Knead the dough a couple of times and then pat it into a rectangle of about ½ inch thickness. Now just cut your rectangles into however you want your scones to be, transfer them onto a pan, and put it into a 400-degree oven for 10 to 15 minutes, or until golden brown. For the simple glaze, you're going to sift a cup of powdered sugar into a bowl. After that, add a teaspoon of half and half, and mix it up. If the consistency needs thickness, add powdered sugar. If it's too thick, add half and half. Then you're going to do the same thing with the pumpkin spice glaze, except add the following ingredients. Take your scones out once they're golden brown, or you can stick a toothpick or a fork through them, and if it comes out clean, it's ready to go. After that, just dip them individually into the simple glaze and set them on your tray. Then drizzle them with the pumpkin spice glaze however you want. Let them cool and they're ready to go. For our savory course, we'll be having grilled cheeses from Soup Peddler. Today we'll be having basil pesto provolone grilled cheese and a green apple and Munster grilled cheese.
Howdy to all my chai-loving cowboys. Today we have a chai brought to you by Harim's Specialty Teas. We start out by boiling the water up, get her nice and hot. Next we add 3½ teaspoons of loose leaf to our pot. Once you're ready, pour the water in. Go ahead and let that steep for 5 golden minutes. And I'll be damned, you got some smooth tea for high noon.
Before we start, let's pour some tea.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
Let's get the tea going. Oh wow, that's a nice steam. Look at that steam. That's a nice steam.
This is going to be the first episode of our show, which we're going to be doing weekly. The premise of the show, he makes the tea weekly, I make 1 portion of the food, and the rest we buy locally. And every week we're going to be discussing a document that we find on a list of documents that are just miscellaneous information that could help anyone.
Keep in mind, we pre-screen these documents, but we don't read them before. We are not experts. Today we are talking about body language. I have no psychology background. He sure as hell doesn't. But we're going to read it anyways. We're going to decipher it with you. Everything we know is going to come from the text. You've been wearing overalls all day. I've been wearing overalls all day. So what are your thoughts on that?
They're just extremely convenient. I don't have to pull my pants up. You know, I love these that I'm wearing. They're short. I can move anywhere. There are no concerns. They never should have gone away or had the status that they had before.
I would say the only thing that's really difficult about overalls is urinating. So I have devised 2 methods. If you're going to the basic urinal, you get that hunch in your back and you loosen up one of the overalls. And then, do what comes naturally after that. If you can't do that, I take off both of the overall. I flip it over my hand, much like a butler in England. And I just kind of let it rest there as I, do what I gotta do. That's a big struggle for it, and it's a big turnoff for a lot of new overall wearers.
Well, you also got to remember, there are some overalls that have zippers so you can pee out.
Yeah, there are.
Let's go ahead and take a bite out of this sandwich, and while we do it, let's start reading.
That's the apple one, right? That's pretty good.
This is interesting. You don't get many sandwiches without them.
Yeah, apple and Munster, it's a very odd combo.
But it worked.
It works for what they're going with. So, technically page 2, first page is the title. If the eyes are the window of the soul, then the body is the mirror of our feelings. If we are feeling great, it shows in how we hold and use our body. Conversely, if we look at someone else's body, we can often tell how they are feeling by the signals their body is giving.
It's almost like he's saying the body has a language.
So it's almost like he summarized that title for us in a nice lengthy paragraph. You'll see that there are images on here that looks like a ad you would find on a porn website. At the very top, like that little sliver of images, they're throughout the article. I don't know who wrote this article. It reads off like a preview for an ebook.
I would not be surprised if this was somebody's high school psychology project.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be shocked about that. Yeah, no. On the very first page, we have these bullet points, right? 7% of the information we receive is from what they actually say. 38% of the information we receive is from the tone, inflection, and speed of their voice. A staggering 55% of the information we receive is from their body language. Another fucking hilarious part about this whole PDF is that they bold the weirdest stuff throughout the article.
Also, you gotta wonder where they get these numbers.
There's no, what do they call it?
No source?
Yeah, there's no source.
Yeah.
There's no source material here.
Be warned, body language is very much open to interpretation. Many signals have different meanings depending on the person/situation. Keep this in mind when you assess a body language signal.
What is the point of this whole article? If it's all like what's
If it's
the
all
point?
open for
Yeah,
interpretation.
like what is the point of reading this? What is the point of knowing this information?
I think this is a lot of fluff, which just continues my theory that
It is
a
a
high
lot
school
of fluff.
project.
And you know, I'm a man of fluff, but this fluff, it's not even like nice to read.
Page 3?
Page 3 for sure. We finally have gotten to the point of the article where we're gonna start looking at the body language itself. Open arms, energetically open and possibly feeling vulnerable. A good way to show you are approachable, especially when combined with open palms. That almost reads off like it's telling you what to do. Like, you better approach somebody with your fucking palms up.
Just overthink it completely.
Yeah, look like a robot. A psychologist would go, wow, that's an energetically optimistic person right there.
The next 5 pages are just this. They're just bullet points that
They are literally
talk about signals and say what they mean. Palms up, open hands means defenses down, an open heart.
Wow.
What if you have a mad face? You're like, is that defensive?
Palms on chest. So when a person is dead and their palms are on their chest,
You know that they're dead.
you know that they're dead.
That's one of the only signs of body language that we know for sure. That one's not
You
open
can't
for-
interpret it any
If
different.
they have no pulse and their hands are on their chest, they're dead.
Yeah, that's what psychologists call a dead man. So palms on chest, when a person uses open palms that occasionally touch their chest, they are signaling honesty. It's very, very interesting. Just imagine the detective. He's sitting at the interrogation and some guy's like, I didn't kill my wife. I swear to God I didn't kill my wife. And he's just like, he's good, guys. We don't have to lie, detectives.
I read the report on how to read body language. He's
By
been
Philip Redhead.
doodling. Bored.
Never would have guessed. I am going to apply for the FBI with this as my resume. I know everything there is to know. I'll catch the killer. If his hands are closed, then he has a closed heart. I know if he's doodling, then he's bored. If he's stroking his chin, he's evaluating, because it's right here on the thing.
Feet under chair. A sign of eagerness.
Me and my girlfriend were hanging out. I tell her, I'm going to take you to the aquarium. She's sitting crisscross applesauce. I'm like, well, great. That was a bad idea. She's not even eager to go.
She's not eager.
If you ever have a friend and they're sitting like this, when you tell them something, you know for a fact they just don't care. What if somebody leaves a comment like, hey, this was my high school assignment.
Mr. Philip Redhead, if you're watching this, we're sorry. We hope it was good advertisement for your hard work and your psychological achievement.
Yeah. Your analyses.
Yawning. Okay, this one's another golden one. What do you think yawning means?
I have no idea. Honestly, if I saw somebody yawning, I'd think they're just breathing loudly.
Yawning. Bored.
Never would have guessed.
That's amazing. Do you want to move on to this next sandwich as we're going on?
Yeah.
Let's go for it. You want to do a little cheers?
Yeah.
Clink. Boop. Now, by now, you can imagine it's not as warm as it originally was.
I love cold food, though. Cold pizza?
I disagree, but
Well, you're wrong.
I understand where you're coming from.
I'm sorry, I didn't see your hands touch your chest, so I don't even know if you're being honest.
Wait, watch out. Cold pizza's gross.
Okay, you telling the truth.
I just set it in stone. That's pretty good.
Oh, you're good.
Nodding. The occasional nod from a listener to a speaker is a positive message. They are listening and are interested. But don't get confused.
Too much nodding. This indicates the listener has lost interest and may be bored.
So you gotta do just the right amount of nodding.
There is a spectrum of nodding. Puffing out the chest. This has nothing to do with silicone implants. It's the sentence. That is the sentence directly after puffing out the chest. Men do this when demonstrating their attraction to someone.
Only men can puff out their chests, according to this document.
Pretty sexist, Philip Redhead, if I do say so myself.
We're gonna cancel him. Oh, this tea is really killing it.
Well, I love loose leaf tea, you know? I use tea bags a lot as a lazy American, but loose leaf is always nice.
Pick one.
Chopping hands down! This is an aggressive act, usually used to antagonize.
Yes.
That's what it says. I was just demonstrating.
So, I don't know, like, what situation you're just, like, talking to someone and they're just like...
Philip Redhead watched Karate Kid and he went, man, this is an aggressive fucking movie.
He said, man, that guy is antagonized right now.
Striding briskly, an outward display of confidence. Anger.
What if you're just in a rush?
Oh, I'm so angry right now.
I'm
gonna walk really fast. Gentle leg shaking. The person is mildly stimulated. Cocaine. This one's clearly about drugs.
And then, may need to go to the restroom.
Yeah. There's two possibilities. If somebody is gently leg shaking, which I do all the time, and I don't think it has anything to do with being stimulated or needing to go to the bathroom.
We generally call that anxiety.
Maybe.
No, but, Philip Redhead clearly did not want to miss any points. He knew there was body language, but he also had to mention, you know, maybe the guy has to pee. So, mad respect to Philip. Now, this cannot be confused with vigorous leg shaking.
Gentle leg shaking and vigorous leg shaking are two completely different parts of the psychological mindset.
Vigorous leg shaking reveals apprehension and nerves.
Desperate to go to the toilet.
So if it's gentle, he might need to go to the toilet. If it's vigorous, he's desperate.
That's like when you're on a road trip and you like really need to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And you're in the car and you have like one leg on the brake and the other leg is just going like out the side of the window.
Pretends to kick imaginary things on ground.
Frustration. Do you not remember the episode of Criminal Minds where Derek Morgan is watching the kid, like, you know, viciously kicking things on the ground and he goes, man, that kid is frustrated.
This is like the kind of information that only profilers get to know.
Great power comes great responsibility.
Albert Einstein.
So, what was the documentary we watched with the Edison? There was this lady who wanted to create this machine where one prick of blood could like test you for 1 million diseases.
For like every disease ever.
It was all fake. She made it up.
Ton of investors. The whole thing was a lie.
If the investors had been reading this, they could have seen the signs early.
Yeah, dude. At one point, I saw her not go like this. So I could tell she was being dishonest.
She was being dishonest.
All right, moving forward, let's get a bite of these scones. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Clink. Oh, that's good.
I quite like that. Should definitely try to make them at home. Not too difficult, but you do need a lot of different ingredients.
Dilated pupils. Interested in someone, focused, or high on drugs. How the fuck do you differentiate between the three of those? I'm gonna go down a little bit to gazing. A woman will gaze long enough for someone to notice, then will quickly look away. Her mouth may open and lips slightly wet. It's almost erotic. Not only is it erotic, it's sexist as hell. Maybe the psychology community will correct me and say that it's not, but it really does sound like really sexual and sexist.
Also, like, this guy has definitely written 1 or 2 fanfic.
Her mouth will get wet. That is the language of an erotica writer.
Moving away. Sometimes there's no hidden meaning. What? Did he just include this? To say, like, know. Some things don't have a language?
He was just like, there are exceptions to the rules. Sometimes people do things and I don't know why. Imagine Philip Redhead at, like, any Thanksgiving, like, lunch or, like, dinner. His uncle is just, like, running his hands through his legs. And Philip just stands up and he goes, will you stop that? That's disgusting!
Philip just sits at the table and just watches everyone like a hawk. He probably has a notebook and he takes notes. He's like, okay, Uncle Richie's in love with me.
His own mother is like, I'm sorry, you know we have to invite him.
His drumming fingers impatient. It's like
The next one is maybe a drummer. Drumming
I didn't even
fingers,
see that.
maybe impatient. And the next one is maybe a drummer. Psychology 101.
once again, Philip Redhead just amazingly checks all the bullet points.
He doesn't leave anything up to interpretation.
Quick and animated arm and hand movements. Lying. Note, many honest, passionate people also do this. So you don't know anything.
It's one of the many random things bolded.
Special offer. Buy Philip Redhead's ebook, Getting Great Dates, for $5. Normally $19.
Yeah, you're gonna learn a lot about gazing in his dating book.
Her lips will be moist.
Like a bundt cake.
Clearly, Philip Redhead is someone who understands the romantic psyche, someone who understands body language,
Absolutely.
and someone who understands dating. I'm sure he's probably been on tons of dates.
I wonder if he was the one that uploaded this PDF.
Maybe.
He's gonna be looking at our body language the entire time we've been doing this. I feel like we've been throwing him off since we've been like trying to do. But he'll know.
He'll know. He knows everything. He's always watching. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed How to Read Body Language by Philip Redhead.
I know I did.
Until next week, you'll see what we're making up there, and
Yeah.
it'll be high noon somewhere.